Hello there. If Keir Starmer has climbed off the fence on the side of Brexit, you can be sure there's a gate somewhere in that fence to get him back on the Remain side. So Keir Starmer has said no more talk of rejoining the European Union or freedom of movement with EU member states, nor of joining the single market. For Starmer's Labour Party, or the bit that supports him, it's now all about making Brexit work, mending the rotten Boris Johnson deal and resetting the Northern Ireland Protocol. Yeah, but at what cost to UK sovereignty? Starmer keeps going on about trust, and that the EU will only deal with someone they trust, and Brussels doesn't trust Boris, he says. But Keir believes the Eurocrats will trust a Starmer-led Labour government. Well, I have to say that I, the EU27, the people of the UK and Brussels can all agree that they do trust Keir's Labour Party to sell UK sovereignty down the river at the very first opportunity. Now, I've listened to some of what Starmer has to say on this, and it's all about outcomes, promises of what he'll achieve, easing of rules, reduction in paperwork, etc. We're a nation of high standards, he said, so it'll be easy for me to agree a deal with the European Union. But what he has not been clear on is how he'll achieve those goals, along the lines of a salesman that points to the benefits of a product, not at the small print, nor the true cost of it. Now, the EU has no intention of easing any rules, unless the UK agrees to be permanently bound by ever-changing EU regulations. To get what he wants would require Starmer to sign the UK up to little bits of their single market rules, a chunk here, a bit there. And all the while he could claim, well, we haven't joined the single market, we've just tinkered around the edges a bit to tidy up the UK-EU post-Brexit deal. And Labour MP Emily Thornberry speaking on Good Morning Britain shows that her party knows the score when she said that trying to get the people of the UK to argue for another 2 years on the merits of rejoining the EU would be a non-starter, given that it would entail us joining the Euro, the Schengen zone, and have no rebate. No one would vote for that, or almost no one, except the most ardent pro-EU Remoaners who would make us pay any price to get back in. No, the Labour leadership is acutely aware that the next general election will be another Brexit election, and they know which side they must appear to be on. So they need a different route back into the EU, a slow but stealthy route. Now, the first part of a Starmer plan would be to bind the UK permanently to certain EU rules so that Brussels will agree to relax the Northern Ireland Protocol requirements. And Starmer would point to the outcomes and say, look what we've done for you, while busily changing UK law behind the scenes to put us back under ever-increasing ECJ jurisdiction. This would, of course, mean amending the withdrawal agreement, the Protocol and the Trade and Cooperation Agreement. And suddenly Brussels would be all sweetness and light, and the Eurocrats would be falling over themselves in their willingness to change anything within those treaties. As long as more power flows to them, of course. And that's the bottom line, and we must all be mindful of it. Brexiteers know that, and so does Starmer and his crowd. And as for not returning to freedom of movement, the Tories haven't moved that far away from it anyway. It's just that the flow comes from a different direction. So anything Starmer would do will be lost in the general noise. Starmer and his leadership team will have gone through all of this. So as far as I'm concerned, all this dissent from the likes of London Mayor Sadiq Khan and the chair of the Labour Movement for Europe, Stella Creasy, is all just theatre and window dressing, to make it look like there's a humongous Brexit battle raging within the Labour Party. If the party doesn't tear itself asunder, then we'll all know it was fake huff and puff. Then when Starmer wins, they hope to sail into number 10 and start dismantling the UK all over again. At the end of the day, Keir Starmer has proven time and again that he detests the thought of an independent and sovereign UK, and he has confirmed and reconfirmed his pro-EU credentials over and over again. So I don't trust him 1 inch on these pronouncements of his. But what do you think? And I wonder how Durham police are getting along with Beergate.